Hey, this is Anthony with RevZilla TV. We can watch, decide, and ride. Welcome to our 2015 Waterproof Motorcycle Boots Buyer's Guide at RevZilla.com. In this video, I'm going to run down the gamut, RevZilla's favorites based on our riding, research, and expert opinion. These are four-season motorcycle boots that are all going to be waterproof. You're going to see a mixture of styles, levels of technicality, and really functional components that are going to set you off and give you an option to either upgrade or get the right coverage for the riding conditions you're looking to cover. Now remember, this is part of our larger guide series. Helmets, jackets, boots, gloves, RevZilla.com/guides. You can click to go right there. We cover the best of the industry, and in each of the key categories, we're gonna tell you what you need to focus in on based on all the different products that we personally use every day. Now, first up on my right is my classic pick for entry level, four-season American touring. This is the Tourmaster Solution WP Air. So if we look at it, 130 bucks, basic, great footbed. It's going to be leather and textile, waterproof all the way, and it will breathe for you. So if you want four-season functionality without going full Euro and without breaking the bank, this is going to be a rock-solid option for multi-season touring, commuting. Again, just a staple touring boot within the line. Now, moving up from there, what might look like a sneaker is actually going to be a juggernaut in the riding shoe category. This is the TCX X Street, and this has been around for years. We have yet to see anybody top it with a level of functionality at the $150 mark. Multitude of colors. You're looking at fully waterproof, full grain leather, great CE protection, toe, ankle, and heel. And if we look at it, it's a much stiffer and protective boot than you might expect. So under a pair of jeans, riding to work every day, again, classic, but you can get 4 seasons out of it because remember, it's fully waterproof. And again, if you're looking at a riding shoe, you know who you are. You're trading a lot of times style for functionality and protection. Now, moving on, I'm going to stay within the TCX family. Remember, they're made in Italy. All TCX does is boots, and they're all CE rated. This is the X Blend. You jump up in price. You go into that $240 range. Now, it's your classic cafe, your jump style boot. I think V-twin. I think retro, I think light hipster here. Waterproof all the way up, it's suede full grain leather, great protection scheme just like the X Street, but the X Blend gives you something different, including a raised heel, and again, it just has a bit of styling. Now there's a black as well as a brown. I personally like the brown better because I think the brown patinas over time, and you see some of that character come out in the boot. Very cool. Remember, TCX, the X Street, the X Blend, again, staying within that crossover casual meets functionality. Now, moving to the middle of my table, and what I would love for you to do is click our logo, subscribe to us at RevZilla TV, but leave me your comments, your questions, and your feedback on any of the boots I'm showing you today, but challenge me. Tell me what you think is amazing that I might have left out. Remember, these are our picks based on our personal opinions. Now, diving into a newcomer on the table, this is the first new boot you're seeing. This is the Alpinestars Corozal coming in around the $280 mark. Alpinestars, you did good. I love where you came in with your replacement for the Scout. Now, the predecessor of this boot was full height, a little bit more muted, and what I would consider demure, a little bit more of a refined style. This is aggressive, in your face. It takes the DNA from the Toucan at that $450 mark, and it basically gives you full height, waterproof Dry-Star, waterproof and breathable, with a mixture of full grain leather and a lot of TPU. They're even using the Alpinestars self-adjusting buckles that you can see on the side that are self-cleaning, stealing that DNA off that high-end Toucan and saying we're gonna come in under 300 bucks, and it's gonna be for adventure, hardcore dual sport, but it's not gonna be as aggressive in price as some of that pro-level functionality you get in that step up. So big fan from Alpinestars. They're listening to the market, and they're iterating with even a new school technology. If you look at it, it's got that molded sole, which is where Alpinestars continues to go as they refine and they use technology to differentiate. Now, moving on from there, tried and true favorite. You've seen it in 5 gear guides. You've seen it as a ZLA award winner multiple years ago. This is the Dianna Torque Tour Gore-Tex. The first time we see Gore-Tex today. Remember, Gore-Tex is a big upgrade in waterproofing, breathability. It's going to be the gold standard. They invented the membrane like 40 years ago. If we look at this, this looks like a race boot. This steals its DNA from Valentino Rossi. This is going to be your sport touring aggressive boot. If you ride a Ducati Multistrada, whether you're commuting, sport touring, or even light dual sporting, the Dianna Torque Tour Gore-Tex is phenomenal. Lots of adjustability, full grain leather, rear entry and exit, dual hinge, just like on the race boots. This guy's hard to top. We're waiting to see what Dianna comes out with next. But for the fall of 2015, if you're looking sport touring, you want aggression and Italian style, coming in at the $330 mark, the Dianna Torque Tour Gore-Tex is an absolute juggernaut. This is the boot that I wore when I toured Italy. Now, moving right along, we're actually going to take a step back into the casual side of things. This is the Revit Royale H2. Now, Revit has been the most aggressive doing crossover boots just like TCX in the last few years. A mix of style, functionality, on the bike, off the bike, really taking a fashion eye to things. If we look at it, it's a lot of boot for $350. You're looking at full grain leather, hand attention to detail, a lot of stitching. There's also a brother to the Royale, which is going to be the Regent, which is going to look more like a jump boot. Now, CE rated in the toe, the ankle, and the heel. Lots of protection. Again, it's like taking that Red Wing boot that you see in that hipster audience, that wedge, and saying, you know what does it need to be waterproof as well as carry a great deal of motorcycle protection? And that's where they bridge the gap. Full grain leather, you're suede on the sides, and you have lots of protection all the way up. This is going to be a rock solid option, the Revit Royale H2O, again, in the mid threes, but really cloak and dagger here where you're getting a ton of moto functionality baked into a really fashion-oriented boot. Now, when I move to my left, I get to two elder statesmen. These are the juggernauts at the top end of the food chain. The first up is the Daytona Roadstar GTX, the Rolls-Royce of motorcycle touring boots. 4-season, waterproof breathability from Gore-Tex. Again, premium hydrophobic full grain leather all the way up. 2 zippers, dual gaiter at the top, suede materials that are going to come in contact with your foot. For $450, the beauty of the Roadstar GTX is they're handmade in Bavaria. That's all Daytona does. The craftsmanship on this boot is second to none, and that's why I continue to love it. Now, why I wouldn't call it a full-on hardcore adventure boot? It actually has a great mixture of protection, waterproof, comfort, and durability. So again, when you're riding in this, think about a 400-mile day. Fully protected, but it's not going to be so stiff that you hop off for lunch and it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a great mix of comfort and protection from Roadstar, or from Daytona rather. There's also a ladies version of this boot as well. Again, bar none, the Rolls-Royce of multi-season touring. Now, if you want to take it and you said, well, I want to strap it on and turn it into a Decepticon, and I want to go full-on dual sport, hardcore, off-road, on-road, then I move into the CD Adventure Gore-Tex, which again continues not to be topped. I would say the Alpinestars did a great job coming out with their Alpinestars Toucan, which is Gore-Tex. That's like the big brother of the Corozal in front of me, but the CD Adventure Gore-Tex, full grain leather, dual sport stitch style sole, camlock style buckles. You're having a huge TPU protection scheme throughout the external parts of the boot, the shin, the ankles, all the way across. Great protection at the toe, the heel, all the way up. Again, I crashed in this boot more than once. I've spent a lot of time riding, adventure riding in this boot. It is our pick. It's the CD Adventure Gore-Tex, and it is a juggernaut at the top end of the range for $550. If you want more technicality, you got to go to something like the CD Crossfire, but you're going to lose that Gore-Tex. So again, that is the old granddad staple in the category. When you get to the edges of technology, it takes longer for these manufacturers to iterate. So you see these boots year after year as they're getting ready for the next big leap in technology. But for 2015, whether you're upgrading or just starting out, these are the boots that RevZilla stands behind. This is what we wear. Now remember, part of our larger gear guide series, like I said, helmets, jackets, boots, gloves, RevZilla.com/guides. You can click, go there right now, read all the rider reviews about any of the boots I've showed you today, but make sure you watch the detailed breakdown videos. Understand more than just my topical overview that we're covering at this moment. Keep in mind as well, we're going to ship free over $39. If you want to talk to a gear geek, see us at RevZilla.com or 877-792-9455. Thanks for watching our 2015 waterproof motorcycle boots buyer's guide. I'm Anthony. We'll see you next time.